to be courageous.
Moghedien, also known by her original name, Lilin Moiral, is one of the most elusive and dangerous figures in the Wheel of Time. A member of the 13 Forsaken, she is a force to be reckoned with, even if her power isn't as overwhelming as some of her peers. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. In this video, we'll explore her origin, her history, her powers, and why she is considered one of the most dangerous of the Forsaken, despite her often being overshadowed by figures like Lanfear or Ishamael. So let's dive into the intricate and shadowy life of Moghedien. Early life, an introduction to the shadow. Before she became known as Moghedien, she was born Lilin Moiral, a woman from the Age of Legends. While Lilin appeared unassuming and meek, even those who interacted with her could sense that there was more to her than met the eye. Lilin's role as an investment advisor may seem far removed from the world of dark magic and epic wars, but it was precisely her position in such a field that allowed her to weave intricate webs of influence and control. Lilin was a young Aes Sedai when the Boar was created, and she quickly became embroiled in the conflicts that were brewing in the world. However, it wasn't until she secretly pledged herself to the Dark One that she fully began to realize her potential. Lilin's outward appearance as a harmless advisor made her an ideal candidate for espionage and sabotage, activities that she excelled in. In the early stages of the War of Power, Lilin was largely unnoticed by her peers. Most people saw her as inconsequential, a mere blip in the grand scheme of things. However, this perception of her being harmless allowed her to carry out some of the Shadow's most effective acts of sabotage. Lilin was not a general or a warrior like many of the Forsaken, but she was deeply involved in the behind-the-scenes battles that shaped the course of the War of Power. Moghedien's transformation. At some point during her service to the Dark One, Lilin Moiral adopted the name Moghedien. This new name was inspired by a small poisonous spider from the Age of Legends, one that lived in the shadows and struck with deadly precision. Moghedien's transformation from a relatively inconspicuous advisor to one of the most feared and calculating of the Forsaken was complete. While the other Forsaken were engaged in battles and direct warfare, Moghedien focused on intelligence gathering and subterfuge. She ran a vast network of spies and informants for the Shadow, causing the Light significant setbacks during the War of Power. In many ways, her role was more subtle, but equally, if not more, damaging than that of her more overtly powerful peers. One of the most significant moments in Moghedien's early career as a Forsaken was her involvement in an attempt to sabotage Luz Theron Telamon, who was leading the forces of the Light. This plot was foiled by Birgitta Silverbow, a hero of legend which caused Moghedien to develop a deep-seated vendetta against the hero of the Horn of Valeri. This would become a driving force for Moghedien, as she would later swear to take revenge on Birgitta. Despite her deep involvement with the Shadow, Moghedien's downfall came during the final battle at Shayol Ghul. Like the other Forsaken, Moghedien was sealed away in the Dark One's prison after Luz Theron and his forces succeeded in their mission to contain the Shadow's influence. For 3,000 years, Moghedien lay dormant, trapped by the sealing of the Boar, while the world moved on without her. The Forsaken's release and Moghedien's return. After 3,000 years of imprisonment, Moghedien, along with the other Forsaken, was freed when Ishamael foresaw Lanfear's treachery and released the Forsaken to aid in the Shadow's efforts to regain control. In this new age, Moghedien slowly returned to her old ways, although her methods and tactics had evolved. She had learned from her past failures and was determined to make a lasting impact on the world. Moghedien's powers, particularly in the realm of Tel Araneriod, the world of dreams, became even more refined. While she had never been the most physically powerful Forsaken, she had always been one of the most intelligent and manipulative. Her strength lay not in raw power, but in her ability to hide in the shadows and strike with precision when her enemies were most vulnerable. Her ability to manipulate Tel Araneriod and create gray men, soulless assassins who carried out her will, proved to be a deadly tool in her arsenal. These assassins were once ordinary people, but through a twisted pact with the Dark One, they became mindless killers, hunting down enemies without hesitation or remorse. These gray men were among Moghedien's most dangerous creations and were feared by even the Forsaken themselves. Moghedien's powers and abilities. Despite not being as physically powerful as other Forsaken, Moghedien's strengths lie in her strategic mind, her patience, and her subtlety. She is often referred to as one of the least physically powerful of the Forsaken, but this underestimation is one of the reasons why she is so dangerous. Moghedien's greatest strength lies in her ability to manipulate those around her and work in the shadows. In Tel'aran'rhiod, Moghedien possesses a unique and formidable ability. She is a master of the world of dreams. And while Lanfear may be the one who dominates the realm in terms of raw power, Moghedien's skills in this domain are far beyond anything Lanfear can achieve. Moghedien's connection to Tel'aran'rhiod is one of the key reasons why Lanfear fears her so much. While Lanfear is more powerful in the physical world, Moghedien has an unmatched ability to manipulate the dream world, which gives her a strategic advantage. Additionally, Moghedien's ability to stay hidden and operate from the shadows makes her an unpredictable and dangerous foe. She is incredibly patient, waiting for the perfect moment to strike when her enemies are most vulnerable. This makes her a formidable opponent as she can go unnoticed for long periods of time, all while carefully setting up her next move. Moghedien's vendetta and desire for revenge. One of the most defining characteristics of Moghedien is her unrelenting desire for vengeance. As mentioned earlier, she has a deep-seated grudge against Birgitte Silverbow for foiling one of her plots during the War of Power, and this desire for revenge shapes much of her actions throughout the series. Moghedien is not someone who forgets a slight, and her patience means that she will wait as long as necessary to exact her revenge. This thirst for vengeance extends beyond just Birgitte, however. Moghedien is a woman who takes every wrong done to her personally. She is driven by a desire to get back at anyone who crosses her, and this commitment to retribution makes her both ruthless and terrifying. The Grey Men, Moghedien's deadly assassins. Among the tools in Moghedien's arsenal are the Grey Men, soulless killers who serve her every whim. These assassins were once ordinary people but have been transformed by the Dark One into mindless, soulless killers. Once they pledge themselves to the Dark One, they are changed into these undead, ghoulish figures who can blend into crowds and move unnoticed until they strike. Grey Men are a deadly weapon in Moghedien's arsenal. While they may not have the raw power of other Forsaken or Dark Friends, their ability to remain undetected makes them incredibly dangerous. Even if someone manages to spot a Grey Man, their true nature can be difficult to discern. The Grey Men are not just assassins, they are tools of terror, capable of striking at any time and from anywhere. Moghedien's legacy. Moghedien's legacy is one of manipulation, patience, and vengeance. Though not as physically imposing as some of the other Forsaken, her strategic mind, her mastery of Tel'aran'rhiod, and her ability to operate from the shadows make her one of the most dangerous figures in the Wheel of Time. Her ability to hide, plan, and execute with precision makes her a foe that should never be underestimated. While she may not have been as successful in the battles of the past as some of the more powerful Forsaken, Moghedien's patience and cunning mean that she could still become a major threat in the future. Her desire for revenge, her deadly assassins, and her mastery of the dream world all make her a formidable opponent, one who will stop at nothing to achieve her goals. Our nerdy thoughts. In the end, Moghedien is a character who proves that sometimes the most dangerous enemy is the one who operates in the shadows. She may not be the most overtly powerful, but her intelligence, patience, and ability to strike when the time is right make her one of the most feared figures in the Wheel of Time. And that's a wrap on our deep dive into the dangerous and cunning Moghedien. From her quiet beginnings as Lilin Moiral to becoming one of the most elusive and deadly of the Forsaken, her story is one of patience, manipulation, and revenge. While she may not always seek the spotlight like some of the other Forsaken, Moghedien proves time time and time again that the shadows can be just as powerful as the light. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to see more character deep dives from the Wheel of Time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Let us know in the comments what you think about Moghedien. Do you see her as one of the most underrated Forsaken? Or is there another character you want us to explore next? Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your eyes open and stay wary, because in the world of the Wheel of Time, you never know when the next shadow will strike.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.